you'll use less energy to get customers from A, landing on your website, to B, making a purchase.
You're listening to the Keep Optimizing podcast to increase your traffic, improve your conversion rates, and grow your profits.
Hello and welcome. I'm Chloe Thomas, the host of this marketing-focused podcast. If you are not familiar with our format, well, each month we focus on a different marketing method, could be email or SEO or Facebook ads, and each week I interview a different marketing method expert to explore the latest advice on making it work for you and your e-commerce store. This month is all about SEO. Yes, we're talking search engine optimization. How do you rank? How do you get traffic from the search engines? How do you get the right traffic from the search engines? We're kicking off with a brilliant episode that's quite Shopify focused, although to be fair, everything we're talking about could be done on any website platform. And we're tackling it from the planet first perspective. So here's a secret that some of you may not have already realized. If you improve the speed of your website, you're going to rank better. Your customers are going to be happier and thus more likely to buy. And it's going to lower your hosting costs, and it's going to be better for the planet because you're going to be using less carbon in hosting your website. That we are going to be talking about SEO through the lens of that and talking a little bit more about that in this episode. Really excited to bring you this one. It's definitely a feel-good episode. So make sure you listen right to the end, because at the end of the interview, my guest will be sharing some brilliant quickfire insider tips packed with resources to help you maximize the performance of your SEO. And I'll then share my take on it all and outline a few more ways we can help you improve your SEO even more. So make sure you stay tuned right to the end. Let me tell you about our SEO month sponsors, the marvellous Spec Digital. Spec are experts in customer acquisition through SEO, with a firm focus on not just doing great SEO, but on helping you to scale up your business too. For Spec clients, it's all about finding the best ways to grow sales. Their senior SEO consultant, Rob, will be joining us for one of this month's episodes to do just that. And Spec are offering all Keep Optimizing podcast listeners a chance to speak to one of their consultants for free. You take it as your opportunity to discuss some of your biggest SEO pain points. Book your free 1-hour consultant call using the short link keepopt.com/spec. That's keepopt.com/SPEC. Get expert help with your SEO from the Spec Digital team right now. Go to keepopt.com/spec. Today, I'm chatting with SEO expert Krissie Clare. Krissie is CMO and founder at Collectify, the zero-waste digital marketing agency for Shopify businesses. Hello, Krissie.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. It's lovely to be doing a podcast with you because I know how much brilliance you've got to bring to the audience. So it's awesome to finally be getting to do this with you. So thank you so much for being up for it. Before we get into the super cool topic we're going to be covering, how did you end up in SEO? Because I think you had quite an interesting route into the discipline, didn't you?
Yes, it's rather long-winded. So I began blogging and writing about inspiring entrepreneurs that are local to me in North Devon, outdoor surf-related businesses. And I shortly after this turned it into a Shopify store. So the people that I was writing about all their products and stuff, I then started selling it for them as like a marketplace. And I called it Krissie with SEA at the end instead of SSIE. And I realized the opportunities that Shopify was providing for entrepreneurs. I just fell in love. It was just amazing. And then, unfortunately, the marketplace wasn't making enough money to live on. So I joined an e-commerce agency as a content marketing manager. And that's where the SEO skills came in and started growing. And I fell in love with e-commerce even more. And the technology just blew my mind. And I really enjoyed writing valuable content. And I then became a freelance writer for e-commerce businesses, including Shopify apps and merchants. And then this has kind of spiraled into a whole remote agency And we now specifically work on zero waste digital marketing, which I think might be a term that I coined. And SEO is a huge part of that, of course.
It's kind of cool because you've experienced e-commerce from so many different angles. You've run your own business, you've worked agency side doing content, you've worked for the big software SaaS companies doing their content, and now you're spending time still doing that, but also running your agency, helping brands themselves do their content. So hence, I think it'd be fair to say, Krissie, you know content and e-commerce and the SEO side of it pretty well by now.
I'd like to say so, yes.
I think you're allowed to say so. And so we could just be picking your brains on content and SEO, but we're going to do something a little bit more exciting than that, because these days you're coming at SEO from a planet first perspective. Would it be fair to say that?
Yes, indeed. The things that you do for SEO can also help the planet.
It sounds crazy, doesn't it? But it's as we so often see, if you're doing the right thing for the planet, it's also improving your own marketing. So, I mean, tell us a bit about this idea of zero waste digital marketing and how the planet first perspective delivers for people.
Yeah, so zero waste digital marketing is a more mindful approach to marketing your business online. It aims to minimize the creation of digital waste and its negative impact on the environment. So this includes reducing the carbon footprint associated with online marketing activities, such as websites, email marketing, social media, and paid advertising. So by adopting this zero waste approach, organizations or e-commerce businesses can not only minimize their environmental impact, but also enhance their reputation as a responsible and environmentally conscious business.
So, Krissie, it is kind of cool how it comes across all those marketing areas. And then from an SEO perspective, I mean, I know with my business, I've made a few changes to the SEO side of things, which have massively reduced the carbon impact of my business. It kind of feels to me like it's one of the biggest areas where digital marketing can have that double win of planet and SEO performance.
Yeah, 100%, because your website or your virtual store, if you're an e-commerce brand, is actually powered by very real physical data centers. So they're actually consuming a massive amount of power. According to some research, data centers could contribute to 3.2% of the total worldwide carbon emissions by 2025. And up to 13% of global electricity by 2030. So the carbon footprint of the internet and your website is massive. There's a few figures flying around, including a paper by IEA that says the internet will use 25% of the world's electricity. So there was just some stats for you. But how can SEO help? Obviously, when you're doing things for your SEO, you're trying to optimize for site speeds, for people to find you more easily. And this is actually having a good impact on the efficiency or the energy efficiency of your website. So one of my favorite SEO tips is to optimize the load speed of your website. So you're optimizing your website for faster loading times. You'll improve the user experience, which is something that search engines consider a positive. And this will therefore help to increase your overall search ranking and help to reduce the amount of energy required to access your website. So it lowers the carbon footprint of your website at the same time. And I know that's something that you've seen from your website, and it's just a total win-win.
It's a crazy win-win. It's like, as the audience know, I've been on the net zero journey for nearly 18 months now, and the web project, optimizing my website, because our traffic isn't huge in the grand scheme of things, was way low down on my list. It probably would have become a 2024 project, but we were doing a brand redesign in order to make it faster, to make the search engines happier with us. And I got to the end of it and I went, I wonder how much it's reduced the carbon. And it was huge. We'd halved it whilst also improving user experience and improving SEO rankings. It was and of course, let's be honest here, the other side of this is, if your website is loading faster and using up less space in the data centers, it's also costing you less money to host it. It's like this huge, amazing win on all fronts. It's better for your customers. It's better for the planet. It's better for your business. It's a crazy no-brainer. But Krissie, you're doing this with Shopify sites. Can we make a big difference on a Shopify site when so much of it is controlled by Shopify?
Oh my God, there's so much you can do. So firstly, I just want to add to the point that about when we did our website and we changed, we were optimizing our website for lowering our carbon footprint. And I didn't realize about the load speed until we did it. So our load speed became 700 milliseconds, and that's 4 times faster than our old site, which was on Squarespace. But with Shopify, because they're already doing so many good things, so they run on renewable energy, they're giving back to their environmental funds and the companies that are in that. And you can also do things like optimize your images. You can compress your videos if you're using that, say, in your product descriptions. To caveat that just quickly, if you do need a video to give your customers more informed purchasing decisions, then use video, but make sure you compress it, because that video might help to reduce returns. Just a quick side note there.
You've just said so many cool things. So we've got Shopify's doing a whole load of work for you already. So if you're on Shopify, you're winning. But then you can do more by optimizing your graphical content and your videos. And I think sometimes there's that danger when we're talking about this. We go, oh, right, so video's bad for the planet. I better not use video. Well, as Krissie just mentioned, if that video is going to help people make better purchasing decisions so they buy the right product first rather than returning it to you or it's sitting unused in a wardrobe, then that video is going to have far more impact by existing than it is if it didn't exist in a good way for the planet. So there's always these kind of caveats we have to think of and these kind of balancing acts. But Krissie, there is another side to how SEO can help. So one, we speed up our website, which reduces the carbon footprint of our website. But there's also the secondary angle is doing better SEO, so only the right people find our website in the first place, isn't there?
Exactly. Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. Keyword research, for example, is going to help you to create more relevant content and copy on your website. That it's going to attract the right audience, which means the people that are landing on your website are there for a reason, and they're going to hopefully convert really quickly because your website's really fast. And you're not attracting the wrong people who are just going to be on your website for no reason and then, exit, and then your bounce rates are higher, which isn't good for SEO either. Yeah, if you do your SEO correctly, do your customer research really well, which I always talk about. And I know that you've had Monica on the show talking about this as well. But make sure that you understand exactly what your customers need in order to be attracted to your website and then convert and all that good stuff. In a nutshell, keyword research allows you to deliver relevant information about the products you sell more efficiently, and therefore you will use less energy to get customers from A, landing on your website, to B, making a purchase.
It's that bounce rate bit that kind of has me feeling a little bit guilty, because over the years I've been like, oh, don't worry about the bounce rate. So long as it's converting and the ROI's there, it doesn't matter if 80% of the people left straight away again, it's all right. But nowadays, that's a carbon problem. It's like we need to go, oh, okay, we're doing something wrong on this page. Yes, it is attracting a few people who want to buy, but it's also allowing in a load of people who don't, who are wasting their time, their energy, etc., using up carbon by coming there. So do you think the reduction of bounce rate is going to become an ever more important stat for us all?
So it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because if you have a high bounce rate, it's not good for SEO. But if people are, just landing on your website from, a blog that they came across, and then they're like, oh, this isn't for me, at least they're exiting and they're not staying on your website for too long, browsing, trying to figure out what you're selling and if it's for them or not. Does that make sense? So it's like...
No, it does actually, because it's like, Right, if you come in and you immediately know this is the wrong place and you leave, that's better than you coming in and going through 10 pages before realising you need to leave.
Yeah, it just makes your copy and your content even more important. People need to know instantly, is this for me or is this not for me?
So, Krissie, we've gone over the kind of the two big things about improving or lowering the carbon impact of our website in terms of improving the website speed and getting our SEO better. You mentioned earlier that, there's a couple of key things that a Shopify retailer can do over and above what Shopify are already doing for them to lower that carbon even further. So have you got a couple of little tips you could share for the Shopify audience, please?
Yes, so I mentioned images, so compress those where you can. You can use a tool called Tiny PNG. If you can, convert them to WEBP files before uploading. Then if you've got videos, please turn off autoplay, because one, it's annoying if people don't want to watch it. And just by playing that video, it's taking a lot of energy from the planet, a lot of resource. If you've got animations, avoid using animated GIFs, by the way. But if you have animations, compress them as well. Reduce the number of fonts you use. And if you can, use system fonts. So try Google fonts, because these take a lot less energy to load because they're installed on local computers. And then if we come more to the design kind of thing, like colors, if you can use darker colors, they're a lot easier to load and take less energy. And user experience, think about your navigation. So make it clear and well designed, and reduce the number of clicks from the user, which is always nice for them. But your goal is to make the website design clear and easy to navigate so that they don't have to go through so many pages, which we kind of briefly talked about before. Use succinct and to the point messaging, and use labels to help identify what the user is searching for, because the less time they spend on your website, the quicker they'll convert and the less energy they'll take. I can't say that enough. If you've got a developer on your team, think about code size. So minimize the code. Lazy loading is really useful. There's apps for that as well. If you're able to use a Jamstack approach, so I know a lot of Shopify stores now use Jamstack with Sanity, which is really good. There's a guy called Rob Simpson, who's a good friend of mine, who he's really, really knowledgeable on that stuff. Yeah, I think that's enough.
That's an amazing list. Everyone listening, we will make sure we've written that list down in the show notes for you, so you can get those on the website. Krissie, that was brilliant. I never heard the fonts one before. That's so clever.
Yeah.
Such an easy change. Well, look, Krissie, it's been brilliant picking your brains about all of this. Listeners, remember to stay tuned right to the end so you don't miss out on Krissie's insider tips on SEO and my suggestions for more free resources to help you improve things even further in your business. Let me tell you about our SEO month sponsors, the marvellous Spec Digital. Spec are experts in customer acquisition through SEO, with a firm focus on not just doing great SEO, but on helping you to scale up your business too. For Spec clients, it's all about finding the best ways to grow sales. Their senior SEO consultant, Rob, will be joining us for one of this month's episodes to do just that. And Spec are offering all Keep Optimising podcast listeners a chance to speak to one of their consultants for free. You take it as your opportunity to discuss some of your biggest SEO pain points. Book your free 1-hour consultant call using the short link keepopt.com/spec. That's keepopt.com/SPEC. Get expert help with your SEO from the Spec Digital team right now. Go to keepopt.com/spec. Okay, Krissie, so far we have gone deep into some amazing tips for both SEO optimization, speed optimization, and carbon reduction on our websites. It's been brilliant. Now you get to wow us with your insider knowledge about the whole of SEO. So for the following questions, your answer can be anything to do with SEO, which of course includes everything we've just been talking about. So Krissie, are you ready for these?
I am.
Okay, let's start with newbie advice. If we've inspired someone to take their first step, what do they need to know to give themselves the best chance of success?
So I briefly mentioned this before, but get really clear on who your ideal customers are, and then use this information that you glean from that customer research to drive your keyword research, because that's the stuff that they're looking for. That's how they find you. So like, what are their biggest challenges and how can you position your business as the best solution? And consider things like, what do your potential and current customers need at every stage of the buyer journey? So to be attracted, converted, and then become loyal fans of your business. If you want to access some example customer interview questions that we use with our clients, Chloe, if you can include a link in the show notes, then that'd be great.
Cool, awesome. We will do that, because I know that's one of the things where many people get stuck with the research is, what do I ask them? And you can spend an awful lot of money on research and learn nothing if you're asking them the wrong thing as well. Okay, Krissie, once you've got started, of course, you've got to keep optimizing. So what's your favourite way to improve performance?
Right, well, if you've done all the research, you've got a great strategy built from that research, you have to take consistent action. This is something that I think a lot of people struggle with, including myself. I love the planning and strategy side. And then I'm like, okay, I have my plan and tomorrow I'm going to do everything and then take action, but then something always gets in the way. Whereas if you have a plan and do one thing each day or every other day to get you closer to your goal, it creates this really good compounding effect. And you start to create a habit of doing something most days for the future version of your business.
Yeah, actually do it. A plan is worth nothing if you don't actually implement. If someone listening wants to learn more, is there a cheap or free resource you'd recommend?
So I mentioned the customer research interview questions that you can access from us. For SEO, I'd highly recommend Moz. They have a really good beginner's guide to SEO, so moz.com. And then if you want to measure the carbon footprint of your website, go to digitalbeacon.co. It's really good, and he gives some like actionable tips after you've measured it. And if you want to see some examples of low carbon websites, I have two friends, one called Nick and one called Nico, and they've both built directory sites of low carbon websites, and they're really good, and we're on there.
Cool. And we will add links to those directories in the show notes for you as well. That's brilliant, Krissie. You're really helping us get going with this. Now, finally, crystal ball time. What's coming up in the next 6 to 12 months that we should be getting ready for?
Well, I'm going to continue to tell the world about speedy websites and how this can help to slow down climate change. So in 6 to 12 months, prepare for a super speedy, low carbon internet. And if you're not involved, you're basically silly.
I love it. Yeah, because let's face it, all these changes benefit all of us. All of us who swear at slow loading websites, they are soon going to be a thing of the past, because Krissie is not the only one shouting about this all over the place. And like we said, it saves you money, it makes your customers' lives easier, makes them more likely to buy, improves the performance of your business, and helps the planet. It's just such a no-brainer.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. Well, look, Krissie, we are very nearly at the end of the show. So if the listeners want to get in touch with you to get your help with any of this, how do they go about doing that?
Yes, so the best place to find us is on our low carbon fast website, collectify.com. And we also love a bit of LinkedIn, and you can find me by searching Krissie Clare. And I also want to offer a free zero waste digital marketing review to the first people to email me on Krissie@collectify.com. So be quick.
Excellent. And how many of those are you offering, Krissie?
Just 3.
Just 3. Right. So guys, pause. Well, actually, don't pause yet, because I'm going to tell you what to do. But it is totally acceptable for you to right now go to Krissie@collectify.com, which is KRISSIE@KOLLECTIFY.com. So Krissie@collectify.com with K's, not C's. And email her right now. Say you heard this episode of the Keep Optimising podcast and request that free review. And totally understand if some of you want to pause and do that a minute and then come back and hit play to hear my outro. So yeah, go do that now. And thank you so much for offering that, Krissie, as well. That's amazing.
You're so welcome.
I can't wait to see who gets in contact with you about that and the impact you can make for them. Well, look, Krissie, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and talking about such a hot topic and giving, quite frankly, so many pieces of advice around it as well. It's been lovely catching up with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
What a great start to SEO month. So many cool Shopify SEO tips there from Krissie. We will make sure there is a list of those in the show notes for you, so as you can head to the website and grab all of those. And the thing with so much of the sustainability actions you can take is that they are good for your business as well as good for the planet. So there was nothing Krissie was suggesting that's going to help the planet that is not also going to help your business in this episode. So there's so much you can do that works for everybody. And so you get to feel brilliant, my business is going to do better, but you also get to feel a bit smug that you're doing your bit for the planet too. And that list of things, the Shopify ideas she gave us, that will work on any other platform as well. So compressing graphics, using the right fonts, etc., is all a good idea, no matter where you're hosting your e-commerce site. You can get those links, the list, and everything else we mentioned at keepoptimising.com, or use keepopt.com / whatever the number of this episode is. Put that in the URL bar and you'll go straight to the correct page on the website for all those juicy details. And when you're on the website, please do add yourself to our email list so you don't miss out on any of the other things I share to help you improve your business. And as well, we are going to be doing one of our monthly Q&A webinars all about SEO, where my guests from these episodes are going to be joining me to answer your questions. So if you've got questions about the things we talked about today or any of our SEO episodes or anything to do with your SEO, make sure you've signed up to our live Q&A webinar, and you can do that whilst you're on the website. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Keep Optimising podcast. If you've enjoyed it and want to keep learning about SEO right now, then scroll back up your feed to episodes 97, 98 and 99, because last May we did another SEO deep dive covering 3 more ways to make SEO work for your store. And if you want to see that on the website, it's at keepopt.com / SEO, where you will find all our SEO content. And one last request from me. If you know other e-commerce marketers who are grappling with how to do better marketing this year, please tell them about this show, because I want to help as many of you as possible to improve the performance of your e-commerce marketing and your e-commerce business. Have a great week and make sure you listen to the next episode so I can help you to keep optimizing your marketing.
Access everything Keep Optimizing at keepoptimising.com. That's with an S, not a Z.
It's time to get your free ticket to our brand new virtual event. This time we're tackling the problem of overstocks, how to avoid them and how to clear them. So take control of your stock to improve profits, cash flow and your environmental impact. Just use our short link keepopt.com / summit to get your free ticket.